Alright, so you're supposed to put in y equals 0. So now you have 0 equals negative 3x plus 2. Class, should you divide by negative 3, subtract 2? Subtract 2. You're left with negative 2 equals negative 3x. What math operations right there? Right where my pen is? What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. We're going to divide negative 3 on both sides. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 equals 1. So when I cancel there, it equals 1. Class, negative divided by negative? X equals 2/3. Raise your hand if you got 2/3 for the first one. What does that mean? If you put in 2/3 times negative 3, you'll get negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. That equals the number we wanted. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in 0 for this one. 0 equals x squared minus 3x plus 2. This is a quadratic. What's the easiest way to solve quadratics? Beginning of the year? That big old packet you did? Factoring by the Xbox method. A times C, you have the B value. Class, A times C? It's just the numbers in front, so that would be a 1. This is a 2. My B value is negative 3. Partner B, tell partner A the two numbers. Class, are there any two numbers? Negative 2 and
1.
Negative 1. Raise your hand if you got that. Okay, pay attention to these two numbers now, okay? So, in factoring, then we would do something like this. A value is equal to 1, so I don't need my box. And I would have put in negative 2 and negative 1. So I have x minus 2 and x minus 1. So now, one of these has to equal 0. How would I describe that to you for the very first time in your life? I would say something like this. A square times a triangle equals 0. A square times a triangle equals 0. And it basically says that one of those has to equal 0, right? 0 times something equals 0, or 0 times something equals 0. So I'm going to set each of those equal to 0. They didn't give us a lot of space, so x minus 2 equals 0. X minus 1 equals 0. Class, how do I solve for x here? Add 2. Add 1. And that makes sense, right? We've been learning this idea that the degree tells us the number of x-intercepts. Our answers are both 2 and 1. You could have also solved this problem using the quadratic formula. For question number 3, it's already in factored form, so now I can set each of those equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0, and x squared minus 1 equals 0. I'm going to add add 2 to both sides, so x equals 2. On this problem, you could factor it. You could do x squared plus 0x minus 1, or you can use another method called the square root method. That's a lot easier. I'm just going to add 1 here. I get x squared equals 1. If I take the square root, pay attention. When I take the square root of an equation, I have to have plus or minus. So in this case, this would be x equals plus or minus 1. What does the plus or minus 1 mean? It means x equals a positive 1 and x equals a negative 1. In this last problem, I have 3. 1, 2, 3. So what's the difference? This is a, let's see if I can use my pen. This is a linear, x to the first. This is a quadratic, 2. So I had one solution for a linear, quadratic had 2. And then this is a cubic. X times x squared is x cubed, which means I have 3 solutions. 1, 2, 3.